Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie Yates, Anya Buile, Steph Anya for short. What's on your mind? This channel is for fellow therapists, those thinking of becoming therapists, and those who are using therapy insights to create their best life. Today's video is a little different. I was tagged in a Black woman therapist tag by another therapist. I'm going to be answering those questions today. I'll be sure to link the original if you're a fellow therapist and you want to do this tag. I'll be sure to link the original video in my description box. If you're curious, stay tuned. What's on your mind? Okay, first, shout out to Brandy Jackson Wellness for doing this tag. I'm really excited to participate in it. And I think the questions are great for, I talk a lot about theoretical stuff, but I don't really talk about myself as a therapist, how therapy looks. And so I thought this was a great opportunity to answer some of those questions. Some of these I've already answered in other videos, so I might not go too in depth, but I thought this would be a really fun thing for you guys to learn a little bit more about me as a therapist and my practice. Okay, so number one, name and state of your license. Most of you know that I am in Georgia, and my name is Stephanie Yates Anya Buile. So I am licensed in Georgia as an associate marriage and family therapist. Specialty, so type of therapy. So first, I like to always say marriage and family therapist because that's the first difference. I am by trade, if I'm a marriage and family therapist, a systemic therapist. I go into more detail about what that is in my video that's called What is Marriage and Family Therapy? I'll put that in the cards and the description box if I remember, but I always forget to do that. My specific model of therapy within marriage and family therapy or systemic therapy would be collaborative therapy. And what that really means is that it's almost, I like to think of it as therapy with no rules. I try to engage with my clients and emphasize the importance of language. I pay very close attention to the words my clients choose to use. For example, if they describe their depression as the dark place, I describe it as the dark place. I don't label things for my clients. I also make note of changes in their language. So if I have a client, for example, who is struggling with a breakup and they always refer to the person as my wife, and then all of a sudden they refer to the person as my ex-wife, my mind is going off like, okay, this is the first time you've said in session or referred to that person in session as your ex-wife. What does that mean? Does that change in wording mean that there's been a change in your thoughts or feelings? So I'm very, very intentional about paying attention to language and making sure that I am using what my clients are telling me to inform me about where they're wanting to see themselves go and also to see how far they're progressing to get there. Fun fact, collaborative therapy is also known as collaborative language systems therapy. So it is very, very underlined by the importance of how we choose to communicate. So specialty or my ideal clients that I support. My practice is really all over the place. I will say that my practice is predominantly focused on marginalized people, okay? So when I think marginalized, I think marginalized due to race, marginalized due to socioeconomic status, marginalized due to sexuality, marginalized due to gender identity. So my way of connecting with clients is almost through the lens of marginalization, understanding both how societal oppression has affected their view of their self, their view of their capabilities, their view of what is possible for them, and also looking at their strengths. So, wow, even though you experienced this type of oppression, look at what you were able to accomplish. So I would say my practice is predominantly focused on marginalized people. And I do have clients from all different kinds of backgrounds, from different nationalities. So it's not easy to pinpoint my exact client, but I will say as a marriage and family therapist, I have found a lot of fulfillment working with mother-daughter dyads. I've seen it where the daughter is 5 years old and I'm working with the mother who's 30 years old. I've seen it where the daughter is 30 years old and the mother is 60 years old. I am seeing a lot of mother-daughter dyads. And a dyad means that you have just two people that make up the client group. that has been really, really rewarding for me. I'll do another video kind of talking about my relationship with my mother growing up, but because of my experiences growing up, that work is really, really important to me. And it's so wonderful to see what is possible when a mother and daughter have a healthy, positive relationship, and how both of their lives can completely transform for the better. So that is definitely one of my favorite populations to work with, is mothers and daughters. Number 4, how do I structure my therapy sessions? So at my agency, when I came into it, all sessions were 45 minutes long. So my sessions are still 45 minutes long. And I jump right in. I'm not very big on small talk. I'm like, okay, so hi, how you doing? So last week you were talking about XYZ. Are there any updates there? Okay, so or I'll just say, anything that's been emotionally challenging this week. I jump right in because those 45 minutes are precious and critical, and I want my clients to have as much time as possible to process whatever they need to for the week. Now, I have some clients, it's like, okay, you're really kind of in maintenance mode. You don't have anything crazy going on right now, but they like to stay in therapy just in case something happens, or just to process even all the good things happening for them. And with those clients, we will shoot the breeze a little bit more, but that's kind of a rarity. Most of my clients, there's something, they know the things that I'm asking about when I say, have you had anything emotionally challenging or any updates from what we talked about last week, and they jump right in. So my 45 minutes are not very structured. We pretty much spend the entire 45 minutes going over what's been affecting them for the last week and how it correlates with their treatment goals. And by the end of the session, they could be like talking and really still going, and I'll say, okay, it's time to pause. We're at the end of our time. Let's pick it back up next week. So I know a lot of therapists will structure their sessions as like, bringing it in. They might do meditation at some point. They might do reflection. Some therapists carve out time for worksheets and things like that. I very rarely do those things. I usually focus the entire session on processing, and we end and pick it back up the next week. Why I became a therapist, this I kind of covered in my I quit my corporate job to work for free video, but what really made me become a therapist is finding out that there was a career, especially in marriage and family therapy, where I could help heal relationships. I so strongly value the importance of relationships, whether that be relationships with the sibling, with the parent, with the partner. And once I found out that there was a career that was targeted right toward that is what made me become a therapist, because I heard from close friends always that I was like the advice giver in the friend group. They would come to me, I have some friends literally don't talk to them unless something is going on, and they'll reach out to me to get my ideas or thoughts on what's happening with them. And just always playing that role for friends or family members, it made it clear to me that this is something I could love doing, because I was never I always loved hearing people's stories of struggle, stories of success. And that's why I've always been more drawn to watching YouTube videos than even something on Netflix or Hulu or at the movies. I still do watch those things, but I love hearing people's stories from their own mouths, and that is what really brought me into the field, is a passion for being able to hear stories and helping to heal when there is hurt that's a part of that narrative. And then number 6, my favorite part of being a therapist, I covered this in my video, 5 things I love about being a therapist, and that is really just honestly being trusted with information that people have had to hold on to and be burdened by for a long time. Information that maybe they haven't even made sense of yet themselves to even share if they wanted to. That to me is such a special gift, to be a stranger in a person's life and for them to trust you with these really intimate, vulnerable spaces of their life, and know that you're not going to judge them and that you don't know the people they're talking about. And my only goal is to help them make sense of their decisions, of their feelings. And in order for me to do that, I have to know everything that you're in the space to be able to share. Also, I feel like I'm living multiple lives at once, because I'm so invested in my clients' stories that, I'm learning a lot. They teach me so much. That's another huge aspect of collaborative therapy, is that it's non-hierarchical. I don't view myself as a therapist in authority in any way. I view myself as a peer to them, that doesn't really know their life, they have the opportunity to share it with me in their own words. I take what they say as truth until I get to know them better, and certain things like, okay, I noticed that, whenever you say I'm fine, for example, normally you're really not fine. So are you? Just being able to challenge them in that way, but only doing it because I want them to feel their best about themselves, about their life. And so that's a long way of saying, like, just the aspect of being able to be such a part of a person's intimate and personal journey. That is really, really rewarding to me, to just see the impact of that. That is what I love the most about being a therapist. Again, I thank Brandy Jackson Wellness for creating this tag. This is really fun to do. And if you have any other questions for me, put those in the comments below. I love answering your questions, and a lot of times your questions give me ideas for videos, so never hesitate to ask them. Again, my name is Stephanie Yates Anyabwile, Steph Anya for short. I ask that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification if you want to know every time I upload a video, and I appreciate you for watching until the end of this video. That really, really helps me. Thank you.